Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm in my office this morning doing a little bit of work like I always do on Tuesdays, and I wanted to tell you all about the class that I had with my students yesterday. I think I might have mentioned to you that I was going to talk to them about behaviors, and it went so well. But the big thing that I wanted to bring to you today was our conversation about that clip up, clip down, and the stars, and you're having a good day and a good week. And I put a visual up with a clip chart, and I had Polly Perfect at the top, and then I had Christy Crisis at the bottom. And the bottom clip said, parent contact. You know those clips. You know how you go to the board or ask the student to go to the board and clip up, clip down. You're having a good day. You need to make better choices, all that kind of stuff. And an interesting thing came from that visual in that conversation. I asked the students, I said, what do you suppose is happening in that classroom right now? What's happening with Christy? And I thought that the students would come back with, she's really angry, or she's very upset, or, she's pissed because she's got to move her clip, which is generally part of what happens when a student is asked to clip down for some reason. But one of my students chimed in with something so super profound. He said, shamed and humiliated in front of her peers. I love that. It's something that a lot of us hadn't thought about before. I mean, I may have given it some thought a time or two after I wasn't in the classroom anymore, but humiliated and shamed in front of her peers. So with that, how is she going to act? Is her behavior going to get better now that she is really frustrated and embarrassed that she's walking to the front of the classroom and she's clipping down and everybody knows that her parents are going to be called? And, maybe she is a repeat offender. Maybe she has some behavioral things that really need to be addressed. But there it is. There are some behaviors that need to be addressed, but not necessarily by just clipping down or not getting that smiley face or not getting those points at the end of the day, the end of the week. It's time to tier this behavior up. Did you know that PBIS also has tiers like RTI? So when you do a universal behavior system in your classroom and you have someone who is not working, you need to give some additional support. The fact that a student is clipping down a lot or not getting the smiley faces or the stars or the candy or the tickets, it means that you really need to dive in a little deeper as to why the student can't manage to make the mark. I know that this system has been in place for a very long time, and I'm not by any means trying to downplay a system that you feel is working in your classroom. But I have seen many teachers just use that as a tool to make a student feel really bad because they've been disruptive, or they're not listening, or they're, doing things in the classroom that are inappropriate. But I want you to give it some thought, because if you want to change the behavior, you're going to have to drill down to why the behavior is happening in the first place. And sometimes putting the behavior on the stage is not the bee's knees. Just give it some thoughts. We'll talk again, okay? Have a great day.